What's up, family? Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker. Geez, each and every time I say that, it's surprising even to me because it's true. But sorry, I'm all giddy about that. But so we have a great episode tonight for season 10, episode number 13. Lucky 13. But I ask you guys if you would please share this episode out. Invite all kinds of people to watch it with us. Tag them in the comments if you want. It doesn't matter. Just invite them, and don't forget to keep the likes coming. So thumbs up, hearts, cry faces, frowny faces. Heck, you can even get mad at us. I don't mind. And then also, please keep the comments coming. We want to have more of a conversation than just make a presentation. And we have someone very interesting tonight that is going to teach us about the magic of the breath. So, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Miss Laura. Hello, Laura. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, not a problem. So, I have to tell you, first of all, that I am going to be inviting a few people on my phone, so I am looking down, but I am paying attention at the same time. So if you would like to go through your short introduction, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and more importantly, what you do.
For sure. Thanks. So, my name is Laura Anderson. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm the manager for the Breathbox studio here in San Antonio.
That sounds pretty darn awesome. Now, I happen to know that you're in with Dr. Rob Kelly, correct?
Sure am.
And he has been on this show too. I have to say that because he was a pretty awesome guest. And we actually got introduced by his assistant, Courtney Davis, right?
Yep, she's awesome.
Yes, she certainly is. And I have to say hi to a few people here before we jump into the show. So I need to say hello to Adam, who's watching us from England, and Ben Bruce, who's watching us from the Seychelles in the Indian Ocean, and then my dad, who is watching us from across the street. And yeah, that's the people that are watching right now. That's all I can see, at least. But if you're watching, please tell us your name and where you're from. I would love to see that. So, I happen to know from my own personal experience that life has a tendency to throw things in our way. Tries to hold us back, tries to stop us from climbing the ladder of success and the ladder of happiness in life. So you see, I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. I was told I probably would never walk again, but I do now. And I want to show people out there that things are possible. That's why we do this show. But has there been anything in your life that has tried to hold you back?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I'm human. So, there's been many things, many things that I could say were life's obstacles, but now I see it in a different lens as it's not necessarily life trying to hold me back. It's my perspective on what's being presented.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not really life holding me back, it's me holding myself back, and
Well,
mostly my
that's
own mind,
good.
my own way of thinking. Yeah.
Yes, I have a tendency to tell people because I speak at schools and stuff, and I speak to a lot of brain injury survivor groups and things. I have a tendency to tell those people that you are the only person that can truly hold you back. If you want to accomplish something, do it. Don't listen to the naysayers because they're always going to be there. But what is it that led you to what you do now?
So I've tried to kind of go back in my journey and pinpoint, the source, the one event, but I don't think anyone has that. Well, maybe you for sure, but not many people have that one, you know, moment where they're like, "Oh, that's it. That's the game changer." I think it was a culmination of my culture, my society, how I was raised, and again, my perspective of what my limitations were. And then that carried on throughout my childhood. I was very anxious, apprehensive, kind of scared to take risks, um, was very dependent on a lot of people. And then as an adult, getting married, having my own kids, and living I guess you would say an independent adult life, I kind of went down this spiral of I don't really know what I'm doing. I've been molded and had impressions given to me all my life where I was supposed to be something, live up to a specific standard, do things in this particular order, and I was not fulfilled. I wasn't happy. And so I just kept going down this spiral, and every check mark that I checked in my list of what I thought I was supposed to do in my life didn't make me happy, didn't make me where I needed to be. And I just got depressed. And then I would, beat myself up mentally thinking, well, I'm not doing it right. Or I just can't do what I'm supposed to do. I had the family, I had the career, I had all the things, and I was miserable. So finally, oddly enough, I ended up in the parking lot of a random yoga studio, and I was supposed to be going to work.
Yeah.
Um, so I walked in, had never done yoga before, dropped into a class, left that class, had a complete breakdown in my car. And then after that day, quit my job, did a 5-week immersive program for Ashtanga yoga, became a
Wow.
yoga instructor. My husband had that same face when I told him. And everything
Oh,
changed from that point on. Yeah.
wow. That is really cool. So what about the yoga did you find so profound?
So that took me a while to figure out as well. I had the feeling, but I didn't know why, which was both interesting and very frustrating. Um, I finally had I guess, the mental breakdown that I needed to let all the barriers down, let all the expectations down, and realize how unhappy with my true self I was. So that was a turning point where I get back to that perspective. Well, you could say, yep, life threw all these things at me, my upbringing, my culture, my everything did made me who I was. And like I told kids that I worked with in special education for years, now what are you going to do about it? So I had to ask myself that hard question. Now, what are you going to do about it? Take it away from everybody else. Yep, this was your past. Now it's your turn. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. And I think in the class, among many, many other things, if you've ever taken a yoga class before, that's not just, well, sometimes just a restorative one too, but you go through an emotional roller coaster. You go through challenges, you go through self doubt, you go through frustration and anger and all these different emotions. And then you come out of it on the other side, and it's that complete exhaustion, complete openness. You're sensitive to everything around you. And I just sat with that, which I had never done before. I sat with myself, I sat with the uncomfortable, And then I started to formulate a plan from there.
Hmm. That's interesting. So you found yourself in the discomfort. So that's just like telling people that they need to get out of their comfort zone.
100%.
That's pretty cool. That's a good way to look at it. I wow, that's really cool.
Well,
So
you lived it. Like
yeah,
you were
I
uncomfortable for a
understand.
long time. You had to work through that.
Yes, I understand, but see, this is why I love doing this show live because I pick up on certain things. Somebody else might pick up on a certain thing, and in fact, I don't even like to learn a lot about my guests before the show because I want my honest reaction to be on the show. I don't want to be prepared for what they're going to say. So I value what you have gone through and the journey that it has taken you on so far.
Thank you.
Yes, you were quite welcome. So where did the yoga lead?
So personally, yoga led to my own self development. So, my own journey into understanding my, and I'm going to say this a lot, it's just a term we use in yoga a lot, your true self. So, there's your identity self, and then there's what's back behind there, your true self. So, I started on that journey. I was still in public education. So, I've been a special education teacher for about 14 years. Worked in a bunch of in different capacities of special education. So I was I went back and did some of that, but I also did the yoga journey where I got to work with different people and realize that everybody had their story and they had a different way to express what they needed through yoga, through movement, and then it evolved into through breath work. So
Wow.
that's really where the transition from physical practice of yoga to incorporating more of the breath work part really came into play as an aid to help people realize that they had the power within them through their breath to start to heal themselves and recenter and get back on that path. And then that led into my nerd brain where I did all the science and the research pertaining to neurological pathways and how you can restructure the brain. And then the breath box came up. Like you mentioned, Dr. Rob Kelly is a fantastic addiction and recovery psychologist and neuroscientist. Well, he had picked up on this 9D software that incorporates guided, intentional, activating breath work with different sound therapy techniques. And he was implementing that in his practice. So he was finding great results with that, decided he wanted to expand that and make it more accessible to the public. And he needed somebody to help him with that. He already had Shanice Conyers, who's amazing in helping me out with the breath box, and then got me to come on. And that's kind of where the yoga, the breath work, and breath box merged into the vehicle that it is today.
Wow, that is very cool. It's amazing when you find someone else that sees the value that you are adding and the potential value that you can add to the world. I find people like that to be pretty darn cool because they're they help you out in so many ways. It's really neat.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, I wonder how often is it that you hear, like when you say breath work, do people scoff at that?
Oh, yeah.
Do they doubt that?
For sure.
All right. So what all right, why is it that breath work is so controversial?
I'm not sure if it's necessarily controversial, but it seems too easy. which is contradictory to Western society as a whole, because not every, most of society is looking for the quick and easy fix, right?
Yeah.
And what could be easier than breathing for 5 minutes intentionally? Well, that's too much. That's too much. But taking a pill or an injection or something like that seems to be the easiest route for a lot of people. So when I say, well, we just need to breathe, but we need to breathe like we mean it. Um, the only natural breathers are babies, and then they get out of that habit, they get conditioned to breathe like adults. So, what I mean by that is babies breathe into their bellies. You can see them when they're lying on their backs and sleeping, that belly expands. It looks like their whole body's inflating and then it deflates, and they just go in that natural pattern, right?
Yeah.
Um, as we get older and we're more conditioned and stressors start to fall down on us, we move from that belly breathing up to our chest, our neck, and our head. So we take more of those narrow, shallow, quick breaths, and we really don't take the time to take a full exhale out, if you think about it.
Mm.
So just going back to that natural tendency is the point of the breath work. There's a lot more involved in it too when you start going into the intentional breath work, but really that's it. And it's kind of cliche because when people get upset, they say, just take a breath.
Yeah.
Well, really, if you just take a breath, the chemical imbalances going on in your mind and your body based on whatever is making you need to take that breath, it's right there with you. But some people they say, no, that's woo woo stuff. Same thing as yoga, same thing as meditation, anything that's really go inside of yourself, bring awareness to yourself and work on yourself seems to be taboo, other than let me go this other route and somebody tell me what I need to take or what I need to put on to remedy, and which isn't a remedy, it's just a band-aid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is it like? How can breath work really truly help people?
So in a number of different ways. So physically, active breathing or conscious breathing opens up all the capillaries in the body, opens up the diaphragm, inflates your body, floods your body really, either with two things, oxygen or CO2. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't want to be full of CO2. That's toxic. But your body is constantly producing CO2 from cellular degeneration and all kinds of other things and toxins from the environment and what we eat and what we do. So if you're actively breathing, you're actually building up all that junk in your body. And then when you release it out, it's like a big detox. It's like a big purge. And so that's working physically in the body with your chemical composition. But what it's also doing is signaling to your brain and your nervous system that, hey, we're okay. It sends you out of that fight or flight mode into your rest and restore mode, because we're constantly on high alert, like we're still getting chased by bears and saber-toothed tigers, but it's not. It's our perspective. And if we can train our mind to deregulate through our breath, then we can stay almost in this homeostasis place where, yeah, some big stressor or big trauma may happen, but it's a lot easier to de-escalate down from that than always being up here in hypervigilance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
So the
really
breathing,
does.
good. So the breathing is the conduit to bring us back down into that balance.
Wow.
Mm.
That's very interesting. I find this to be fascinating. I've never really done any work or looked into breath work in any way, shape, or form, and I am finding this to be very interesting.
I'm so glad.
Yes. So I I'm like wanting to ask a question, but is there any short little example of breath work that we could practice right now?
Sure. Absolutely.
Wow. See how easy that was?
Just have to ask.
Yeah, and I didn't want to ask it.
Yeah, there's a really quick and easy technique that I used with kids, teenagers, adults, and seniors. And it's a really great self practice you can do for anywhere from 1 minute to however long you want. But it really does start to calm the nervous system down. And you can actually tell if you're in a high stress state and you try this little breathing technique, it's going to be very uncomfortable to start, but as you get into the rhythm of it, it'll get easier and easier. And that's your actual proof that your nervous system and your brain are connected and saying, okay, we're okay. Let's settle down. Okay. So it's called box breathing if you'd like to try it for a moment, and everybody who's watching. So you can sit in a comfortable position or lay down. Just relax
I can't
arms,
lay
relax.
down right now. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
You
Do
wouldn't
this
be able
later.
to see my face.
That's okay. So you can just sit comfortably. You can close your eyes if that feels good and feels safe for you. And we're going to do something called box breathing. So, what you're going to do is you're going to visualize a box right in front of you. It can be 2D, it can be 3D, whatever you want, any color you want. And the point of box breathing is for 4 seconds, we're going to breathe in. So we're going to take an exhale. And if I do this with kids too, but you can take your finger in the air if you want and draw a straight line up, and that'll be one side of the box. You're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. And then across the top of the box, if you draw your finger across, you're going to hold your breath for 4 seconds. And then you're going to draw your finger down the line of the other side of the box and breathe out for 4 seconds. And then you're going to hold at the bottom of the box for 4 seconds. So it's intervals of 4, breathing in, hold, breathe out, and hold. And we'll do that 3 times just as a little taster here. But I want you to notice any sensations in your body, any thoughts that pop into your head, anything like that as you do the breath. Make sense? Okay, so here we go. So wherever you are in your cycle of breath, relax your jaw and just take a sigh out. Let all that air out. And here we go. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Slowly exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. And again, breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Last time, your pace. In. And hold. And out. And hold. Now just let your natural breath come back to you. Keep your eyes closed if they're closed, and just notice. Notice your own breathing. Notice your heart rate. Any sensations or thoughts. And that's it. You can do that 3 times or 10 times, whatever you need.
Wow. So honestly, I got like a cold chill when I let that breath out, and I was thinking about it at first. Like,
Very common.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben Bruce says that's sort of difficult at the start.
Yes.
And then he says, damn, this sort of works.
That's what I hear.
And then he laughed. So,
Good.
yeah.
Yes.
But I find it to be fascinating that the breath is so much related to the whole body. Like, I understand that we have to breathe to be alive and all, but it seems strange to me that your breath can really calm you.
It can.
And it has so many powers that it can do, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the breath not only calms you, but it can activate you as well. So the beauty of the breath box is we have both options. So we do active breathing sessions for athletes, entrepreneurs, anyone who needs to give themselves more motivation, more confidence, more self-worth. We have some good morning kickstart sessions that just energize you and make you ready for the day. And that's, like I said, more active breathing in and out through the mouth to kind of hype up the nervous system. And then we have those down regulation sessions when you need to calm down, get out of that stress state. If you have trouble sleeping or anything like that, it's just a great technique.
Yes, that is wow. I have a I guess a feeling of euphoria right now. It's strange. I do actually kind of feel different, and that's weird that something that we did for 3 rounds what can make you just get this feeling. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it.
So I liken it to, think of on a hot day, if you go inside and you drink really quickly a glass of really cold water and you can feel it go through your entire body, right?
Yeah, it's like,
Because your
ah.
body, yeah, your body was so depleted of that hydration and that temperature that you can feel it throughout your body. Same thing with breathing. Like you said, we breathe to live, but if
Yeah.
we're actually actively breathing to control our nervous system or to do whatever we need to do, you're going to feel that deprivation go away. So a lot of people in our sessions, when we do the more active breathing for 30 minutes up to an hour, they have all kinds of sensations. They have tingling in the fingers, the toes. A lot of people say the tip of their nose starts to tingle. That temperature differential, some people will get very cold, like myself, or some people will sweat straight through the yoga mat. It's it's all your body and your mind reacting to whatever's stored up in you at the time and getting rid of what it doesn't need and bringing in what it does. So that life force, that energy, or that state of calm, getting rid of the stress, the trauma, the depression, the emotional blockages, all of that stuff. But I could go
Wow.
on.
I thank you so much for this. This has really shown me that I need to look more into this stuff, and I need to figure out some things with this stuff because this can be amazing.
Absolutely. And it's not just the breath work. So the beauty of the breath box and 9D breath work is they've combined the guided breath work with sound therapies. So they've made the connection, and a lot of people have done different sound therapies where you listen to different frequencies of sound waves or tones or beats in order to regulate your nervous system and also to help balance out your neural pathways. They've combined both, and then on top of that, they've layered in. I'm going to say the word, and everybody just calm down. They've layered in some positive hypnosis, which only means it's linguistic programming in the most positive way. So, positive affirmations. You can do this. You're in control. You're safe. Things like that going on in the background to reprogram your thought patterns.
I've
So,
actually been in hypnotherapy at one time, so I know it actually works.
that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm working with a hypnotherapist right now, and she had never done breath work, but she's a hypnotherapist, and so now she's doing the breath work with us, and it's just enhancing everything that she's doing as well. So it's a beautiful thing to see all these wellness modalities, these natural wellness modalities coming
Hmm.
in together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is magic.
Some sort of
It's
magic.
it's science magic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and then he says, open to learning daily. Thanks, Laura.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So I want to take a quick second here and tell you thank you so much for being on here tonight. You have taken time out of your busy day to be here with me. I know you're still at work right now, and that's amazing that you actually took the time out of your day to be here with me and my viewers out there. But I want to say thank you. And I also need to ask, do you have any contact information you would like people to have?
Yes, and first and foremost, thank you so much. I have every admiration and compassion and all the things for all you do. Thank you for bringing this positivity out into the world. It's
Thank
just
you.
amazing. And yes, I was actually going to let you and your viewers know that I'm hosting a free online breathbox session on April 17th. I'll send you all the link to that. But if anyone wants to jump in, it'll be a Zoom link that you can join me on for a quick 30-minute demo. You can reach us at thebreathbox.studio is our webpage. And I'll send you all our Facebook and Instagram and TikTok links as well. So anyone who would like to could follow. But yeah, I hope to see everybody who can join on the 17th and we'll breathe together again.
And I will put all this information that she is going to send me in the show notes so you guys can find it there. And don't forget that she's giving us a free session on Zoom April 17th. So, uh, thank and all Benber says, Laura, thanks for honoring our invitation. We will keep in touch with you via social media handles. So, yeah, he's a loyal viewer of this show. So,
That's great.
yeah, but I need everybody out there, including you, Laura, to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one life. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, you have a fantastic week. Thanks again, Laura. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
This end screen is too long.